Hello, Year 9. This is an introduction to MYP art. First off, an aspect that I didn't even expect about art would be the social aspect. I mean, through the groups and the tables, I ended up making so many new friends, and you end up building so many experiences. Okay, yes, I have jumped ahead, but okay, let's take it step by step. Over 2 years ago, as a year 9 myself, I remember having the concern of not having the proper skills to be an art student. But over the past 2 years, I've realized that the process that we show and the progress that we make as an art student is what is most important. For the ePortfolio, you're not being marked on how well you can draw or paint, but how many skills you have built and how much progress you have shown since the start to the end. And rest of the year portfolio is just creativity and analysis. And analysis is a bit doable. I mean, we all do English, right? I'd say the most gratifying experience overall about art is just how you can still have fun and talk to your friends and socialize while still doing what is considered as work. So if you're looking for a relatively chill but stressful but still chill subject, then art would be for you. And we have got great teachers, so you don't need to worry about that. And as a side note, all the art materials that we work with are pretty cool.
I've loved the acrylic when we did the skeletons because honestly, that was like when I came to art, it was like it allowed me to let go of things, and it was a great opportunity to learn new things. Throughout this whole like unit, we've learned a bunch of things that I've never tried in my life. For example, ink, lino blocking that we just recently started.
MYP art is a great subject to choose for your ePortfolio. You have complete control over the artworks you analyze and the direction you want to explore. If you enjoy individual work that requires creative thinking and skills, especially. Personally, I chose art because I had seen a lot of the pieces people created, and I wanted to create things like that too. In my first year, I was made to try out different materials so that I could enhance my ePortfolio terminology and research. Be ready for it to be a struggle, as you have to balance all your other subjects. Though art class is often relaxing, just remember that making mistakes is the most important aspect of art, because you might find it inspire you further. Truthfully, for my first year, I was on mostly fives, and by accepting the criticism, not as a judgment of my work, but as a suggestion for improvement, I was able to get a level 7 in my final. By your second year, you will have begun your ePortfolio. This is definitely going to feel like a daunting task. It's supposed to be. This is the part where your creativity will be most explored. Not just when you're creating your piece, but in your writing and exploration. Take the time to truly think about whether you will remain inspired during the 5 months you work on it. Don't procrastinate, because the earlier you complete tasks, the more feedback you receive. If you do choose art, I'm sure there's going to be a student who looks at your work and think that they want to create things like that too. So good luck with your choices and speak to people if you can't decide.
Hi, my name is Dama. I'm in year 11 and I do art for ePortfolio, and here's why you should too. Well, first of all, art is probably one of the more fun ePortfolio subjects that you can get. We do a lot of physical work, and I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of year 11s or 12s and 13s carrying around sketchbooks and art supplies and various other pieces to and from school and going in and out of the primary basement. Um, it's a very hands-on subject, and you will definitely get messy, and that's probably the most fun part of it all, um, because you're getting more creative. You're the only limit in art is your own creativity, and that's probably the best part about it. Secondly, you don't even have to be good at art to do it. Um, I was not the greatest when I first started ePortfolio. I was very off the rails, I guess you could say that. I wasn't very good at getting creative on the go. It's just something I struggled with for a bit, despite me liking it a lot. The only reason that you should get into art is because if you like it, and you don't have to be good. There are lots of people who are not good at art and still take it. The last thing is you still get to do the fundamentals and you still get to do really fun things at the start of year 10 mostly. So this is my old digital sketchbook. These were some of the cubism pages that I had, and there was also the fundamentals with texture and value bars and working with color and value. You get to learn a lot of new skills and techniques, and that's a really fun aspect because you don't get to do that with a lot of other ePortfolio options. Granted, there's still going to be some writing, there's going to be still some analysis and perhaps some art history, but that is still a very fun aspect. If you're really interested in art, you should definitely take it for ePortfolio. And if you want to go into a career that has to do with art, you should also definitely get it, as it will really help you with building a portfolio and learning some really interesting and fun techniques.
I chose art because I did not know what career path I wanted to go through, and I'm sure like most year nines now do not know yet. So I wanted to do something that I like doing, which is art. And I personally like art in year 10 rather than like year 9 because it's more like free, and I like learning about like the foundation skills. And with the sketchbooks, I feel like it's more of a hobby than like an actual class. Like when I get home, I'm excited to like finish my sketchbook or like learn about art. So you should choose art.
So when you pick art in year 10, you'll basically get a whole year of exploring and improving skills. Sure, there's a bit of written work on the side to prepare you for year 11, but you'll be able to explore using all these materials that are available in the art room, and you can improve your skills even if you're not even if you don't see yourself as amazing in art. If you're still a beginner, this course is like it's still super friendly to you because the Miss Otis will be here to teach you any skills that you need, and you'll have help along the way. Maybe some of your classmates are more experienced. This whole thing is extremely collaborative, as it's still preparing you for year 11. So you're getting to improve your skills, explore so many materials, and it's honestly a really fun time to have. Because there's still a lot of freedom, even if you're told to do certain tasks. And in year 11, you'll be assigned a global context. So for example, when I did it, I got globalization and sustainability, which meant any work, the pieces that we did, had to relate to that global context, which means every single person in the room with you is doing something similar, so you can all help each other. And along with that, you'll have to do 4 tasks that all relate to your pieces. Task 1 will be a comparative between 2 artists. It's the first part, and it's going to be research. You'll take 2 artists that interest you and relate to the global context, and you'll analyze their work and how it relates to the global context and how it relates to what you want to do. And for the second task will basically be you planning your piece. You'll be explaining your inspirations. You'll bring in the artists that you mentioned before and how they come into the process of your thought process of creating the piece of what you want to do. And the third task will be your process of the actual piece itself. So for example, I did an acrylic painting, so I was recording each of the steps as I did each layer, and how each of the inspirations came into that process, and how I used each, for example, piece and brought it into my one artwork. And after that, you'll have your reflection over your own piece. You'll be analyzing your piece. You'll be looking at it in depth, the reason that you did certain things, and maybe how other people interpreted it when during the exhibition of your pieces. And that's basically it. These tasks are super important, but they're not too difficult. If you pace yourself properly, you can easily continue to enjoy the course without too much stress. And again, it does all relate to your artwork. So again, there's still that freedom, there's still that personal interest and passion throughout the whole course. And it's really, analyzing these pieces has really expanded, again, helped me understand my own work and how to create meaning in work. And the skills that I learned throughout these 2 years has been extremely helpful in where I am right now.
So hopefully you'll choose art for year 10 because it's enjoyable and it's useful, it's enjoyable, it's fun, and it's got just as much writing as any of the other things. So hopefully you choose art.
Dear Year 9 students, for those of you who are deciding on taking MYP Art, this is a short video that I've created as a Year 12 student for you to gain an insight on how it looks like in MYP Art. So you will get a sketchbook where you keep a record of everything that you do in class and whatever you continue doing at home. As you can see that I have a very detailed analysis on every single work that I do because this is very important. At least 40% of your grade goes to your analysis of art and 60% of it goes to your work, of course, but however, most of the marks go to your analysis. So you have to ensure that your reflections are very much detailed and they are pleasing to the examiner and they are easily to be understood. In MYP Art, at the beginning of year 11, you will be given a project to work on. It's basically your ePortfolio, and this will be the chunk of your grade for the end of the year that will be marked. And you'll have to choose 2 artists that you will research on, and then you will have to get inspired by one of their pieces in order to create your own. And there are 4 tasks in the ePortfolio, and they allow you to talk in detail about your procedures and your reflections that you took while making your work. So I would highly suggest to take MYP Art because it allows you to step out of your comfort zone, it allows you to try new things, and it's very different from all the other subjects that you study in MYP. It's a subject that you are allowed to think outside of the box, and it's a creative zone of yours. It's a very difficult course. It's a difficult course to get a 7, but it's very interesting, and I'm sure all of you will do amazing at it.
So my name is Muhammad Murad. I am in year 11 and I am currently taking ePortfolio art. So what we're doing right now is having what we call as a final assessment to get like a final grade for the ePortfolio in general art. So why art is the best is number one, you would honestly have fun. I'm saying it from my perspective, and some of the other students, they have also had fun doing art. You learn a lot, and you would be able to, figure out some talents that you never knew you had. To cover the things that we have done in class, we have done mono printing, we have done clay, we have done painting, we have done a lot of fun things. And honestly, out of all the teachers here, Miss Elena is my favorite, and art is my favorite subject. So it's honestly better than drama and music. Just saying. Honestly, if you go for art, you'll probably see me there at some point. If you're working after school, or if you see me anywhere in general, just, if you want, you can ask me questions, and I will answer all of your questions about art before you pick it, so you can have an idea of what will to come. And this video, if you're watching this year 9s, will also help you decide on make the decision easier for you. Easy for you.
Because we're no longer limited to a single classroom, we have access to more supplies, which means you can experiment with more media. We can work on clay and also printmaking, silk painting, screen printing. We can work on canvases and use acrylics. And we can also sew.
As Riza flips through her sketchbook, you're going to see that Although we start with really basic skills, we work on developing those, and you can see as the year progresses, her art progresses. Risa's in year 10 right now, so she is not even halfway through the 2-year course that is the ePortfolio, but she is coming along, and you can see such strength in her work that develops over practice and lessons that link into each other. You can also see there's a lot of written work in the course as well, so those of you who think that your art isn't good enough, understand that your writing reinforces your art, so you can actually do quite well even if you're not a strong artist. If you have any further questions about the ePortfolio class, we really encourage you to come and speak to those of us in the school, like myself, Ms. Lopez, Ms. Robson, to get more information about what this course is and whether it's a right fit for you. Don't stress about what marks you're currently getting in year 9, and think about what sort of creative aspect you want to have in your life moving forward. The students who take ePortfolio often go on to DP and then university courses in the creative fields of all sorts.